Hold on, guys. All right, so thank you. I am back. So, let's see. Hold on. Let me make sure that that has actually picked up because I don't hear anything on my phone. So normally when I start a live stream, I get a nice little bling, kind of thing, but nothing. All right, guys. Yeah, so I'm back. Yeah, so I had to go through and do some daddy stuff. Make sure that my kids are actually taking a bath and getting ready to go to bed. Otherwise, I got like a 14-year-old and a 11-year-old, and like how it is when it comes to like kids and video games. As long as they do their homework and as long as they listen to what their mom say and stuff like that, I kind of leave them alone and let them live. But when it comes to Fortnite, Daddy's got to kind of put his foot down a little bit. So, yeah, they're they're pretty good boys. I don't really have to get on them that much, but just kind of got to remind them, hey, you still got school tomorrow, you know. And me, I don't really care if they go to college and anything like that. I mean, I'm gonna do my job, save up money and stuff like that. But really, as long as they do good school, listen to their mom, become good people, can take care of themselves, and know how to make money. I don't that's my main thing. So they can play video games as long as they want, as long as they can survive without me. Like by the time they're 18, because once they're 18 years old, I'm American style. Boop, you gotta get a job, right? Or better yet, better have your own company. All right. So, anyways, I'm gonna go back to doing what I was working on before. This is a screenshot of one of the characters from my main game, CDULO: The Outer Rim. This is Megan. So, if you want to find out more about her, you can go to my website, and you can check out the character profile and some of the other projects that I am working on. All right. So, back to what we were doing before. I was piddling around with this game. Actually, for like an hour, I was kind of trying to remember what I had actually done. So, we're going to go ahead and get into what I want to do tonight, which is the graphics. So I have explained that this game does have a mini map now. We have like some weapons. I've kind of dropped everything into different rooms, kind of separated everything out. So I've got my room items, my pickup items, my enemies separated, which will help me kind of organize the project a little bit. I'm going to add one of the other pickups, so I'll add the probably ranged weapon, just to give the player a little bit more defensive ability um, out there. And one other thing I'm going to show you before we get into the graphics will be the dialogue system that I did add to this, right? So, where is my... So if you'll notice over here, I have 3 dots that are kind of on the screen. So I have these 3 dots, and right now you don't really see anything like really associated with them right now. So what I did is I programmed a dialogue system into this. So in a lot of my games are story-based games. So that means that they do have a story flow, and that's what we're going to start working on tonight. Like actually kind of implementing that. So they do have a story flow, and there should be like some NPCs or some dialogue in the conversation, right? So in order to kind of keep the story flowing and like tell the player exactly what's going on, well, I tend to put a dialogue system into my games. So the dialogue system is what these 3 dots right here are, or these 3 diamonds are. So they're invisible game objects that in this case are set to trigger. So, for example, let me go ahead and make sure that this is activated. So if you'll notice, I have a dialogue manager, empty game object dialogue manager here. And when I switch this on, you're going to see this dialogue box come up, right? And right now I have like 3 or 4 different like dialogues open. So I've got I'll go ahead and turn these off right now. So I've got my intro dialogue, which is just right now, which is just some random text. And I learned how to do this dialogue system from watching Bracky's video. I just basically copy what they did in that tutorial. And so if you want to know how to do that, go to Bracky's on YouTube, and they have like some really good tutorials that'll like teach you how to set up a dialogue system and stuff like that. So here's the intro dialogue. It's a pretty simple setup. I have like empty game object with a dialogue manager script on it, which does not look like that. That's from my other game. So with the dialogue manager script, which you can kind of, I'll include that in the project once I'm finished with it. So I've got a couple of other extra elements in here. I tend to use a lot of booleans in mine, so, but this is kind of what my dialogue script looks like. But I think that they explain it very well in the Brackeys video, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time like trying to explain it to you here in like a less than stellar format. Right, so just go to Brackeys on YouTube, and like they'll show you exactly how I set all of this stuff up. So I have a few different dialogues here. I've got like my overall dialogue manager holder container that I have my intro dialogue, and my intro dialogue is the one that you will find, you know, um, that will interact with the first one of these. Then I have like my dialogue background, like standard stuff like the actual dialogue sentences, and I have like a few buttons. So I have a skip button, which I suppose I should let you see over here. So I have a skip button, a continue button, and like a black background here, and like just basic dialogue stuff, right? So I actually have three different dialogues set up in here. So the intro, I have NPC one, NPC two. In this case, I'm not going to in this type of game, I'm probably not going to give the player the option to choose too many things. So there won't be a lot of choice options for them. But I do want them to, experience some kind of, like, be able to run into some elements and run into some, like, obstacles that will tell them what to do with the next step, right? So that's kind of why I implemented this. So to demonstrate that, I'll go ahead and play the game. And you will see, before I had, in the previous video, I had the dialogue system turned off. So now I've got this guy chasing me, and when I run into this first dialogue thing, you'll see the button is over here, so I can click this to have to receive an incoming transmission. Oh, and this is actually my third conversation because I switched it up. Yeah, and I can just continue, like, to hit the continue button, which is I'll like fix later because it's kind of small, and then it'll end the conversation, right? And he's just getting swarmed, right, by all of these enemies. So there's no way that dude was going to survive that. Yeah. So right now you don't see anything, and he just bumped into the invisible dialogue thing. So I'm going to get smart, and I'm going to lay a bomb right there. And let this guy chase me around. And then I'm going to run down here, and then I'm going to blow the bomb. And I still died, but it was very satisfying. Alright, so anyway, that's kind of how the dialogue system works. So this dialogue system in this game works when the player runs into a trigger, right? So all of these are set to triggers at the moment. And actually the trigger for that, the triggers are in the room. So where are you? Yeah. So the triggers are actually in the room, but they're on invisible objects. So, and I did that on purpose. So here it is, pop-up dialogue. So I've got my awake dialogue, which is this one right here. I have my NPC one, or like NPC two and NPC one. So actually, I think for the dialogues, I'll probably go ahead and just switch them over to these icons so that they'll be easier to really, for the player to see what they actually are, instead of just kind of like the diamonds, and that'll help. All right, there we go. So here's our three dialogues that are currently available in the game. Player won't see them, but we'll put them on an object so that like maybe a table or something like that, or an enemy or whatnot. But they can be used on anything, even just empty space. So like I set this up for, like, for example, if a player is crossing a certain point, I can actually just kind of like manipulate the trigger on this. I can kind of make this longer or shorter so that when the player walks through a certain area, then the dialogue automatically triggers. Or I could just put this on an NPC that, you know, when the player bumps into the NPC, then, like, you know, the conversation automatically starts, right? So that is the simple dialogue system that I am using in this game. And like I said, if you're interested in knowing how I set that up, go to Brackeys. All right, so yeah. And this dialogue system also stays outside of the room. Okay, so we've got dialogue system, we've got bombs, we've got weapons, we've got exit portals and stuff like that. But we still have an ugly game, which is a problem. So to fix that, we're going, like I said, we were kind of like playing around with the room. So I have these three containers for room, pickup, enemies that you know, I can use to just kind of randomly move things around. You know, notice that the player is not going anywhere; he's still stuck at the same spot. So I can move this. Let me reset that. I can scale it up, and it will scale everything. So like I said, in this case, normally if you're going to do anything that needs any of the room elements that you're going to want to scale up, you're going to want to put them in the room container, and you're going to want to leave the enemies and the pickups, you know, outside so that they remain the same size, right? So if I just want to scale the room up, I've got this container, I've got this right here, and I can just go like whoop, and like the world has just gotten much bigger, right? And this is how we're going to create our rooms. All right, so this gray background, which is kind of what I started working on before I, you know, took time to kind of remember what I actually did in the game. This default background is just here to kind of give us a sense of how we want to lay out, or actually the scale that we're going to kind of want to lay out our game. And I'm going to go ahead and switch the UI elements off of this so that they don't get in the way. Right. So for this first room, you notice that the player seems kind of cramped in here, right? And we kind of don't want that. So I am going to grab the room, and I'm going to scale it up just a little bit to give him a little bit more running room, a little bit more space, right? And then I'm going to take this room, and I'm just going to kind of move it over here. And of course that means I'm going to have to reposition like some of the items and stuff in here, but that's all fine. I'm just going to go for scale. Now, one reason I'm doing it this way is because I might want to like have a series of rooms, right? So rooms that are kind of stacked one on top of the other. Get your ass back there. All right, so with this system, I can just kind of duplicate a room and then just drag it up. And we have like room number 2, and that's still a pretty good running around area for the player, right? So I could actually do something like this, and you know, so basically like and just kind of change the elements inside of the second one, you know, just kind of rearrange it however I want. And this is how we can quickly create like a series of different rooms. So I can just like grab these two and duplicate and then drag them over here, and then duplicate this one, and then just kind of drag them in the middle, and it's the same room. But you know, this is how we could like quickly create different levels, right? So now if I play the game, well, the player actually had a lot of different rooms that he could visit. So we're going to be using this technique a lot for when it comes to the internal structure of something. So, so you can run outside of this room. And the game already looks a little bit more interesting just because, you know, you've got like more space to kind of travel around. Right, so yeah, so we just kind of created like a little quasi level here. I mean, there's nothing to do except for run around. Yeah, so yeah, so that's how we're going to quickly create our rooms. And you'll notice it does make the game feel bigger, so the scale just automatically increased because we increased the size of the room. But I'm going to delete all of this shit now and stick to one room at the moment. Moving back up here. And yeah, this will be like and you can actually kind of like when you do duplicate these, you could actually kind of like name the rooms like starting room or starting point or level 1 or whatever you need. But the main thing is just kind of trying to feel like get the scale down that you want, the scale of the room down first. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, you've got more running room, to do stuff. And you're gonna have to like reposition like a lot of the stuff in here once you do this, but that's fine. All right. So now what we're going to do is actually get back into the real graphics. So all of this is set up, all of this is ready to go. Now we need to start making our game look a little bit better, and we're going to do that using some getting into the artwork side of it. So the way that I do my artwork is I tend to use a combination of Procreate. Can I show you my Procreate on here? Hold on. I tend to use a combination of Procreate and Adobe Animate, right? So let's see if I can show you my Procreate. I don't know if I have my thing up in here. For those of you who don't know what Procreate is, like it's a really, really useful tool. I use it on my iPad a lot. So let's see, I've got my gallery over here, and I'm gonna have to like jump over here, I think, to show you my iPad Air. Come on. Oh, okay. Maybe it's not. Yeah, I don't think I can show it to you right now. Because it's not hooked up directly. Hold on, give me 1 second. I just upgraded something. Let's see. Okay, that's weird. I'm seeing this on my iPad, but I'm not able to show you my iPad Air feed. Why? Display capture. Yeah. That's weird. Usually this works when I plug it in, but no, I have to figure out what's going on with that. All right. Well, anyways, like I tend to use Procreate on iPad. One reason why I use Procreate on iPad is because it is very, very fast. So I don't really have, whenever I have a good idea or whenever I have some new artwork or whenever I have a concept, I don't really have to worry about like waiting until I get home or trying to use a piece of paper or something like that, right? So I do a lot of my initial sketching and artwork on that. What my initial sketching kind of looks like is, let's see if I can find like this right here. So yeah, this is like, these are some sketches that I've actually done for this game. So yeah, so this is the kind of game that we're going to be making. So this will be the main character, and like we're going to have like some standard enemies, and then we're going to kind of work on the cover for this game. The main menu of this game will kind of look something like this. And then like we're going to, what is this? Oh, that's one of my characters. Uh, and then we're going to start working on the level design, which kind of look like this. So I already kind of like transferred these over to my computer because I wasn't really sure if I could get my iPad to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the other application I use, which is Adobe Animate. And I love Adobe Animate because I used to be an Adobe ActionScript game maker, right? So I've created a new scene, but and I've also kind of given it the name of the game. So we're going to call this game Spirits of the Wind, right? Or Spirits of the Lost Wind. And there is a storyline with this, so you're going to get to watch me kind of develop the storyline or kind of flesh out the storyline while I'm making the artwork. So the first element that we have in this new scene is we have this. Well, this is kind of like just a background and background in the overlay for the health bar. So when I go back into Unity, you'll notice, and I turn on the switch on the UI. you'll notice that there is a health bar in here, right? So when I actually like play the game, you'll see this fill with a blue background, and then when the player takes damage, you'll notice that it kind of starts to count down, right? And it's overlaid on everything because I do use there is a lot of black in this game. So he's like taking damage, and you'll watch this like blue bar. Shoot me! Shoot me! I dare you! Oh, he'd being awfully nice. Okay, yeah. Well, if I bump into him, you'll notice that that the player does take damage, right? So this graphic was done in Adobe Animate, which I tend to use a lot. The reason why I like using Animate is because one, it deals with vector graphics, and two, so basically I can resize. It allows me to resize and like do a lot of cool stuff with the graphics. Also, this is kind of like my one-stop shop because I might want to make like product designs like this one. Like this is a product from my online store, nerdyurgent.com. So a lot of the artwork that I use in my games, I actually turn into online products to sell on my online store to fund my game development projects and like support my family. So stop by my online store and buy my shit. But like I can create game characters, I can create online store products, and I can create animation all at the same time when I'm working in this application. So that's why I like using Animate. And plus it's like more familiar to me, right? I do use Photoshop sometimes, and everybody tells me I should use Photoshop. But I started off with like Flash, and then I got into like fireworks. That I used to love fireworks, um, but this is just kind of like a natural workflow for me. So we're going to be doing most of our art, or transferring most of our artwork into Adobe Animate. But the same process will work for you in basically any graphics application that you've got. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to need to do something with the player, right? Because right now our player is just a very, very underwhelming blue circle dude, right? Which, which is kind of what we don't want. So I'm going to hide the dialog manager right now. And we're going to replace this blue circle. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to our Finder, and I'm going to grab this graphic right here. All right, and like I said, all of this is just sketch work that I was doing in Animate, just kind of playing around and trying to figure out the colors. So I'm just going to grab this and I'm going to drag it into Animate here. Oh, sorry, that's Unity. Go back here and drag this into Animate. Right, and it'll import very quickly, and there we go. Now from here I'm just gonna hit the V key, drag this over, maybe scale it down a little bit, and if you hold shift, it'll scale uniformly. All right, and this is gonna be our starting point. So the first thing I'm going to do before I even really start like trying to separate everything out and like make all the graphics move, well, first thing I just kind of want to like switch up some of the elements that are in that really, really boring scene already. So I'm going to grab the Lasso Tool. And the reason I'm going to do this is because I need to stay motivated for like making this game. So I'm going to grab the Lasso Tool, and sorry, when you bring in a graphic, you're going to need to hit Command B to break it up. So if that's on Windows, I think that's Control B. I haven't used a Windows computer in a while. And now I'm going to grab the Lasso Tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and go around my little main character here, which is a blue fox. Right? And I'm going to go ahead and now that I've got that kind of cut out, I'm going to hit F8. And I'm just going to turn this into a temp graphic. So I'm going to name this one Kurama. Do I want to name her Kurama or Kurami? Kuramiya. Okay, Kuramiya. Kuramiya temp. So Kuramiya. That's going to be this character's name, Kuramiya. So for those of you who are into Japanese anime, you should know Kurama from Naruto. All right, so this is Kuramiya. This is going to be our main character, and I've turned that into a we call that in Flash Animate we call that a movie clip. So I've turned that into a movie clip. Um, Now you're wondering what these are. We're gonna go ahead and cut like a lot of these out, but we'll leave the tails in here. All right. So what else are we gonna do? We're gonna like take these guys. No. Like, sorry about that. Somebody wants to FaceTime me. Oh, actually, no. Nobody wants to FaceTime me. That was just I just got a new phone the other day. So, all right. So then we're gonna like cut this guy out. And this is going to be one of the bad guys. So this is one of the Red Dragon Clan members, right? Now, if you're wondering where I'm getting all of these names from, I am a writer. And a lot of my games actually are connected to my books, my novels, and my online comics. So we're going to name this guy RDC1, and this will be like Tim. And then we're going to do the same thing with this guy. And we're just loading up Tim graphics, basically. We're gonna do this one. This will be RDC Blader 1, right? So we have our gunner and we have our blader. And then like I haven't really done like colors for the rest of these right now, so I'm just gonna like cut them out anyway in their like sketch form. And then we're gonna come back into Animate and like really hook them up later anyway. So I'm gonna turn this into what is this like RDC Sentry Drone 1, and that's also gonna be a temp. And then we're gonna like cut this guy out, and this is gonna be our. We're not gonna cut him out that way. We're gonna try to maybe cut this out. And these are just temp graphics. That's all we care about right now. Right, just to give, just so that we're not looking at boxes and squares for the rest of the night. All right, and this will be like our RDC turret 1, right? So you got like we basically got our 4 enemies. This right here is going to be one of the key cards. So this would be like a key card temp. So for the temp graphics, you know, they're just gonna be there, like, you know, just hold on. I accidentally selected this as well. So for the temp graphics, they're just gonna be here, you know, just to give us something to visually look at, and also kind of give us a more of a sense of scale as well. While we're doing this, and this thing doesn't want to like cut out. So in order to, you know, avoid this problem, I'm just gonna take this guy and move him over here. So when you're first prototyping a game, it's actually a good idea to do this, like because you're gonna get tired of looking at squares and circles, like after a while anyway. You know, so when you're first prototyping using squares, basic shapes, circles, you don't want to put too much time into doing the artwork, because if you do all of that and your game sucks, then you just kind of wasted a lot of time on doing artwork on a game that nobody's gonna play. So that's why I recommend especially when you're doing the programming, you know, programming is so mendokusai, and then like when you start trying to add artwork with it, then you know, it kind of double complicates things. So when you're just doing the programming, just go ahead and get the core programming out of the way with basic squares, circles, triangles, or whatever, and different colors. And then once you're sure that, you know, the game mechanics actually work, then you can go in and start, like, you know, trying to add your graphical elements. And I think that helps your workflow proceed much faster. So we're just gonna go ahead and finish cutting out all of these little temp graphics. And this will be like a key card. Yeah, our bomb is gonna be pretty cool, because I'm gonna make it a little futuristic looking like bomb. Grab our Kurami over here. Move her. Go back over here, and the lasso tool is actually just pressing L, but I'm just kind of. And this is going to be our bomb, right? So one. Right, so you can kind of get the idea. And these purple things, they're actually going to be like, you know, the bullets and the projectile that the player can shoot. So I guess we'll just do like one of them for now. Right. Sorry. Let me go ahead and move this guy out of the way. Right, and yeah, my lasso. And don't worry about the rest of the stuff that you're seeing on this page. So this would be like a bullet one, right? Don't worry about the rest of the stuff that you're seeing on the page at the moment. However, there are a few things that we're going to need to do, especially with this fox character first. So, the main thing that we're going to do is this fox is going to have attack capability. Of course, all of this is going to be animated later, so we'll get into that. But this fox is going to have attack capability. So Kurami's going to have some attack capability. So we're not really going to worry about animating her too much, you know, at the very beginning when we're working with the temp graphics. However, we are going to go ahead and do something with her tail. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and separate her tail out, and you'll see why in a little bit, right? So this will be Kurami tail temp. Kurami tail temp, right? And I'm not really going to... So if you'll notice, the tail can kind of be... tail can be removed from the rest of the body, you know. Yeah, which, I mean, doesn't really look good for her, but, you know. Alright, so now that we have all of these things kind of separated out, what we're going to do is... Actually, I think I'm going to cut this out of here. And then paste it back in here. Alright. There we go. Alright, so now that we have all of these graphics kind of cut out, we're going to finally replace some of the graphics in this game. So I'm going to right-click on Kurami, and I'm going to export PNG, and I've got my folder set up. So this is and I'm going to create a new folder here, and this is just going to be like temp graphics, because we're going to wind up probably scrapping a lot of these once we start getting into animation. So I could like actually go ahead and start doing all of the nice colorful work and doing all of the animation right now, but you know, I kind of when I'm making a template first, I don't really want to put so much time and effort into it. So that's why we're going to use these temp graphics and like see if we can get it kind of looking a certain way before we commit to investing more time into doing more detailed graphics and animation, right? So I just exported the body, and then I'm gonna export the tail temp. And I'm doing these like really large size as well, if you'll notice. So 300 DPI. So yeah, key card, and I'll put temp. Alright, so 300 DPI. These are going to go in huge, right? And the reason why we're going to like do kind of large graphics at the beginning is we're going to shrink. We're probably going to wind up shrinking like our actual graphics down later, but we do want to make sure that when whichever computer or screen this is being played on, that we do have the capability of using 4K graphics. So, that will be bigger. Well, that'll be crisper and clearer on any screen. So, I'm gonna export this one. So that's one reason why we're using large graphics. And then like this is gonna be a small game. This is only gonna be a demo game. So like I can kind of get away with making. I can kind of get away with making these ridiculously huge right now. But then if I actually want to turn into a bigger project, then I'll have to like worry about like shrinking stuff down. RDC 1 temp. So that'll be the gunner. This will be the blader. Now, when it comes to Unity, there are hundreds of ways to do your graphics. basically. Well, actually, no, that's not true. There's about like three or four. But like, like depending on the type of game that you're gonna make, will depend on the type of graphic that you're gonna use. I mean, you have graphics that use bones, which is kind of what I'm using in my main game. So I'm using like the sprite animator with the skinning editor and stuff like that for my CDUL the Outer Rim game. But for this simple project, we're not going to really have like too many like moving parts, moving limbs with the animations and stuff like that because we're going to kind of keep it simple. And this game is going to be more of a top down anyway. So like these are what we're going to. We've just kind of exported all of these out. And so now I'm going to go to Unity and I'm going to go to my folder, which, actually before I do that, I probably want to like clean this up a little bit, because if you'll notice, I've got a lot of scripts just kind of hanging out, like chilling, like with no folder. So let me go ahead and get all of my scripts. So I've created scripts that I'm not even using in the game just because, like, I was just kind of waiting around. Hey, let's see. Oh, hey, Michael. Is that Michael or Mikhail? Yeah, sorry I haven't been on in a while. Yeah, I've had some stuff kind of going on. So like, yeah, I'm doing good. It's good to see you. Like, what am I up to? Well, I was actually trying to figure out where I was at with this game before I had to take a bit of a break from broadcasting. So now I'm cleaning up my files, cleaning up my scripts, and just gonna go ahead and dump everything into the scripts folder. So how's your project coming along? All right, let's see. Here we go. All right, and I'm just trying to make sure that I got all my scripts like in one go, which I didn't. Haha. Okay, yeah, that should be all of them, I think. I'll go ahead and drag these guys into the scripts folder. Just say Michael. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I'm trying to get everything back on track. Nice. Are you implementing graphics? Yes, I am finally implementing graphics. I was supposed to do this like about like a week or two ago. Actually, this was supposed to be a 24-hour build, but at the beginning of the year, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make a mini game and I'm gonna do it quickly and it's gonna be a very like, it's gonna be, and then I'm gonna make a tutorial, and then and then COVID-19 just came along and like, no, you're not. It just kind of derailed like things for about like a week, for actually broadcasting. Hmm. Ah, you're working on an evil cat boss. Well, yeah, I'm gonna start actually playing people's indie games on this channel. Like before I start doing my own tutorials, because that'll also help me. So like, if you got your project and you're like ready to show it off, let me know, and I'll probably like demo it on here while I'm like making these tutorials. Hmm. Yeah, but like I said, I'm taking a break from my main project right now because like it's January, so I have taxes to do. I gotta like look at my online store, figure out like what products I can kind of look for selling this year, figure out some new products. So usually the beginning of the year it's normally kind of slow, but because of the situation and because of import export problems, and like COVID-19, I do have and taxes. I figure like January is probably not the best time for me to like really try focusing so much on the CDULO project. So that's why I'm working on mini games at the moment. So, but like I said, all of my games tend to have a story. So I really love doing story based games. So I'm not I mean I can do like quick games and like one off games, but if it doesn't have a story, it doesn't really feel like a complete game to me because I'm more of a storyteller than an actual programmer. So, this game will also have a story that is connected to like I said, all of my games are kind of connected to my main Wildfire storyline. So, as I mentioned before, I'm a writer, and so I write novels, and I have a online comic series, and so, like in a way, like regardless of what game I make, it always comes back to being somehow connected to that main storyline. All right, so let's see. So now I've kind of cleaned that up. I got my prefabs and my render textures, samples. I've got Cinemachine in here. So like I mentioned, I do have a camera follow script. So and I use Cinemachine for that. So thank you, thank you. Like I said, yeah, I'm here to support everybody. So if you got like some projects that you kind of want to like show off or like me to play on the channel, just drop me a line in the notes or like drop me a line on Discord, and I'll like be sure to do that because creative people got to support creative people, So like I'm not shy about like playing other people's projects or like giving feedback and stuff like that. Uh, I mean, most of you guys are better at programming than me. I hate programming. I just like telling stories. I'm just doing this out of necessity. All right, so all right, so here we go. Here's my sprites folder. So I just cleaned up my scripts folder, and I've got my sprites folder. I'm gonna go ahead and create a temp folder because these, like I said, these temporary graphics we're probably gonna wind up throwing out anyway. So TMP. TMPGFX. Yeah, but this is just boring to look at, right? So, and I spelled Tim graphics wrong. EFX. Yeah, I'm still not used to the size of this keyboard. Thank you. All right. So now all of those graphics that I just created, I'm just gonna go over here and grab them. Let's see. So this is kind of what we're working on right now. This is like a screenshot of one of my main characters from CDULO, The Outer Rim. This is like, if you'll notice, there's a bit of a similarity here. So, yeah, so he's actually the main character for the CDULO storyline that I'm working on, the game that I'm working on right now. But his story actually takes place in chapter 3 of my book, Wildfire Legend of the Ryukage. And he's one of the pivotal characters for the main storyline, right? Which involves, like, which happens in the future. I'll just put it that way. But that's not what we're looking at right now. We're looking at these guys. So I got my Tim Graphics folder. And I'm just going to take all of these things right here and I'm going to drag them into Unity. So, while we're on the topic of artwork, I'm not really so much into blockchain or like NFTs and stuff like that because I have studied them before, and I'm not really. And I know that a lot of people don't really know what to do with them. However, like since I have a lot of artwork that's kind of sitting on my computer, I have started like considering making NFTs just for fun and putting them out like exclusive artwork based on my games and my stories, just to put them out there. I mean, like right now, I think there's not really so much people are going to be able to do with them. I think it's more like kind of like a Beanie Babies kind of thing, that a trend that's probably going to fade. But I have started considering like if I have some really nice artwork based on these games that I'm making, just to go ahead and put them up on like the Polygon or Ethereum network, on the blockchain, just to see like if people might be interested in them. So I'm going to go ahead and start an NFT gallery. So just kind of putting that out there. Don't know when, but probably soon. All right, so here's our game. Now we just need to go ahead and start replacing these boring ass graphics. So we're going to go to our player, and this is why I haven't like prefabbed a lot of these, a lot of the enemies. Yeah, I think it's a good like NFTs. I'm probably never gonna buy an NFT, but but for selling, like I think you're right. I think it's a great way to market the game because it's a trend. At least even right now, it's just a buzzword anyway. So and a lot of people are into them. A lot of people are researching them. So it's not really a bad way to market your game. Especially like I don't really like dealing with Facebook and a lot of the social media sites so much. I do social media because I have to, basically. But I mean, I'm an older generation guy, so really I don't want to spend all my time on a computer like trying to impress people with my shit. I'm like I have a story. I have a story. If you like it, just buy my shit. But like now it feels like a lot of pressure to always have to like Yeah, I think so. That's kind of like what I'm looking at. I mean, I do have like some pretty good artwork that I'm kind of proud of that I want to put up there and see if people just like the quality of the art. But like you said, it is a good way to to kind of advertise the game. Mm. Yes, yeah. So like with the I think like people who are into the NFTs will probably want to try the game. And that would be perfect for a Kickstarter project, maybe offering some of those as perks. So I've already got my Kickstarter page made, but I haven't really updated it this month because I'm like, so busy with other stuff and I have to do my taxes and all of that crap. So, hmm. All right, so we got our player, and now we're going to go ahead and just go ahead and fill in this player with the temp graphic. So right now she's just got a circle. We're going to go here and we're going to like switch this over to half of our fox. Yay! And I've got the color tinted to blue, so we can get rid of that now. Just switch it over to white. All right, and there we go. All right, so here's half of my fox without a tail. All right, and now when I'm doing this, if you notice, I had the player already centered to 0, 0, 0. All right, and so you're seeing like half of her, but now what I need to do is I need to go in, I need to kind of add her tail. And the reason why I'm going to do this is because her tail is actually going to act as a weapon. So I'm going to create another empty. Do I need to create an empty? Now I'm just going to go ahead and create like a 2D sprite under this. And I'm going to name this one tail. Kurami. Kuramiya's tail. Kuramiya tail, yeah. So yeah, this will be our Kuramiya tail. Alright. And I'm gonna go ahead and switch this sprite over to this one. Alright. And I've gotta move this tail back to its proper place. And this camera's kind of getting in my way, so I'm gonna turn this off right quick so I can like line this up better. Not the camera, the tail. Alright, so here's Kuramiya tail. Yeah, and it should fit right here. Now, realistically, this is going to be her weapon sprite, right? So, what I will need to do is... yes, I do have a company. It's called Creative Media Vault. So, I have a company and an online store. So, hold on, let me put that in the notes. CreativeMV.com. So before I was like doing more graphics design, more graphics design, more like kind of web stuff for like friends and stuff like that. Then I started getting into like iPhone apps and stuff like that. But Apple is always switching their stuff around, and I don't really like having to keep on retailoring my games for different like screen sizes and stuff like that. So it would take me so long to program or like make something, and then like right when I feel comfortable with it, they would switch up the like iPhone. Oh, by the way, iPhone 8's coming out. Oh, so you have to change the screen size. And I really got sick and tired of doing that. So then I decided to switch on over to Unity. So let's see, we've got player, and then we've got Kuramiya tail. All right, so for Kuramiya tail, this will be the default one, I think. And we're going to, when we're playing around with this, we're actually going to wind up toggling this on and off, right? So for Kuramiya tail, one thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go into the actual sprite for this. And we're going to have to go to the sprite editor, and we're going to need to change the pivot point. So we're going to switch the pivot point down to the base of the tail. So apply, and we're going to need to apply that. All right, and that's why it's kind of giving me a gap right now. So let's see. Bring it back over here. A little bit. Yeah. All right, there we go. So now this is what the player looks like. And if you'll notice, she's kind of facing south, which is kind of what I don't want. So for this one, I should have probably, yeah, let me go ahead and turn her around a little bit. So actually, hold on, let's see how this works. Oh yeah, I used to make games and stuff on iPhone. So, right, yeah. So right now she's kind of just like going wild over here. So she's not really turning with the mouse because like we haven't put a script on her to do that at the moment. So now one way to get her to face the mouse would be kind of like doing this. However, like just for the sake of argument right now, I'm just going to go ahead and rotate her this way. So rotate, and Kurami is kind of small for this game, so we're going to go ahead and scale her up. You know. Oh, I did like iOS like games and like little children's books and stuff like that for about like from 2010 till 2010 to about 2015. Like before they started really getting crazy with the iPhone updates. That's kind of what killed it for me, like doing iPhone updates. And so after that, I just took all of my apps off the store because, like, you still kind of they were still trying to take taxes from them and stuff like that. So yeah, so I just kind of got tired of it, and I didn't want to keep on having. When you're making an app, you always kind of have to try to keep it updated all the time, and that's just way too monoxide. So this way is much easier. Right. So here's what Kuramiya looks like right now, and so we can kind of like let her navigate around the screen. This character is a little bit big, so what we'll do is we will shrink her down a little bit. Um, yeah, maybe to around 1.65. Yeah, something around like this, I think, to where she can kind of comfortably navigate around certain things. And if you'll notice, I am using the left click button for navigation. Or sorry, the right mouse click for moving around the screen. Oh yeah, actually, no. I didn't use. I mean, I use my iPhone to test games, but no, I had to use Xcode and Objective C for that. All right. So basically, yeah, we'll leave Kuramiya around maybe this size, and we'll since she got a circle collider, we're gonna have to do something about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and disable the circle collider, and then give her a box collider instead. So go ahead and add a box collider to. Actually, do I want a circle collider or box collider? Actually, I think I'll give her a Capsule Collider 2D. Yeah. So we're gonna go with the Capsule Collider 2D. We don't want to use the box collider because we are going to have like some like angles, some like 90-degree angles in here. So she's got a box collider and she runs into one of those, then basically she's not going to be able to move. So we're going to go ahead and use the standard Capsule Collider 2D. And probably shrink that down a little bit. Just right around here, I think. Yeah. And this will give her. Well, my game will be released on iOS and Android, so I do. Yeah. Like iOS, that's the thing about iOS and Android games. Like iOS and Android games, if you don't keep on updating them all the time, then basically they get, I guess because they get so much, they tend, I guess because they can get so much exposure, or people are always kind of looking for new stuff. Then they might not have the same shelf life as a standard. I guess because the market is bigger and like things are always updating much faster. There, you have to always try to like kind of keep up with the trends. Whereas with a Unity game is just like more. You don't really have to worry about trends overshadowing your game so much. Like on the App Store is like always so competitive, right? So it's like every like 5 or 10 seconds, a new app is just coming out. So even if you have a really good game, it can like it might be a good game, but it might not reach the top page of anything. So like or even if you do reach the top page, it's like okay, I'm on the top page, and then like an hour later, like your shit's just gone. It's like what happened? New trend. But with Unity, so like I said, it does feel a lot more competitive. But like with Unity and like itch.io and like other platform games, the shelf life tends to be much longer. I think if people actually enjoy it. The thing about like iOS and apps is that people are always looking on their phone, but just because they're looking on their phone, that doesn't necessarily mean that they know exactly what they're looking for. So a lot of times people are searching, and what they're searching for isn't anything specific. So they just grab the next, like anything that catches their interest. So, but humans' interest changes based on how much information they get and how much they see, right? So if you have like your game on itch.io, or it's in an established place, or if it's on like a specific platform like PlayStation or like Nintendo Switch, well, people who are interested in that game are specifically going to go buy that game for that specific platform. And they're not going to be necessarily distracted or by browsing other games that might compete with it. But on iPhone, I mean, this happens to me. On iPhone, I might actually go to the App Store. I'm like, because a friend will tell me about this game that he's playing. I'm like, okay, yeah, let me go check that out. And then, like, when I go to the App Store, I might find his game, but then I see like so much other information and other new games that I haven't heard of. So my brain, even though like my intention was to like buy and download his game, I might do that. Or I might find other games that are similar to his that have better graphics or something like that and try those instead. So I think that's one of the like main weaknesses of like putting a game out on like on on a platform that's as fluid as iOS and Android, because there's just so much competition and so much distraction. So people are, yes, I'll go check your game out. Even your family and friends, like, I'll go check your game out, and then like like a week later, like, oh, sorry, dude, I didn't download it, but I've been playing this one, and I found this one when I was looking for your game. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. So that's why I think like more platform specific games are probably better for indie developers. Hmm. Yeah. That's what I'm releasing on. I'm gonna be releasing my game on Steam. So like I'm already setting up my Steam page, but let's see. Yeah. So here's like the Steam page. I haven't put the demo of it up yet, and that's why I haven't actually started wish listing it or anything. But so I'm just kind of, I'll be working on that once I get my taxes done at least, right? So anyway, here's like Kurami. So she's got, but yeah, like go ahead and send me like the links. You have my, I think you're on my Discord server, so go ahead and send me the links to your Steam game if you haven't, and or to your Steam page, and like so I can get it, help you advertise it, and get it wish listed. I think we are going to make her a little bit bigger. Yeah. And don't worry, this is not how she's going to look or move in the game. We're just like putting in like some temp graphics. So, all right, let's scale her up a little bit. Um, but I need to be able to make sure that she's big enough, that she's small enough to move around the room. Right, so there we go. So that's our first graphic swap. Then next we're going to go ahead and do something with these guys. So we're going to look for our, actually we're going to do this in the prefabs. So remember we had, we made a prefab for the RDC, for enemy, enemy 1 or whatever. Where's my prefabs folder? Here we go. So what was that? Oh, we had like our stalking enemy, right? Oh, I meant the next game after my mobile game. Oh yeah. So, mm. Yeah, I've done mobile. It was fun when I first started, but then like I said, I just found out it was too competitive, and I want something. Yeah, I want something that's just gonna Oh, you haven't started the Steam game yet? Yeah. I think like Steam is going to be like a longer lasting platform because iOS just changes so much. It's just the demand. So, I mean, I think it's good to go ahead and make a mobile game, and I'm going to be like, what my plan is like, I'm going to try to make a game that's successful on Steam and on other platforms, and then I'll try to port it to like mobile if it's good enough. Yeah. But just the mobile market and what people are looking for and the trends just change so quickly. So I want to make sure that I have a good established game first that people already like and that people are already going to pay money for before I port it over to iOS, and that kind of reduces the chances of it just getting swallowed up by any new app. So that is my game plan for now. Whether it works or not, I don't know. But but first, like first things first, will be the Steam um, one. All right, so let's see. Back to stalking enemy. So we have this stalking enemy 1, which is kind of like just a temp one. So we're gonna so I'm gonna duplicate this mini map icon, and I'm gonna drag him into stalking enemy here, and I'm going to go ahead and enable this stalking enemy right here. And the reason I'm doing that, let's see. Go ahead and move this icon. So because I have the mini map, I do have to make sure that I keep on moving the icons to line them up with the actual enemy that will be showing. So instead of naming this guy stalking enemy, we're going to name this guy RDC gunner. RDC. So, if you're wondering what RDC is, RDC stands for Red Dragon Clan, which is also one of the main antagonist groups in my video, or in my novel Wildfire. So, let me go here. This is like the game that I'm working on, CDULO The Outer Rim. But CDULO The Outer Rim is actually a spin off from my main Wildfire book. And in my Wildfire book, I have this group of characters that are like, well, basically like Iron Man kind of, like the recent Iron Man images kind of, I feel that they kind of ripped my design for nanotech soldiers, but but Iron Man's much older than me, so it's not showing. Huh. Let's see if I can like find that right quick. But anyway, the RDC is like a bunch of high nanotech soldiers. So RDC. Um, I have a lot of artwork for these guys. So this is like RDC Blader, and they're like the main antagonist group of my one of the main antagonist groups of my Wildfire storyline, because they're the enemies of the Atraxian Planetary Council, and they're basically like underground, an intergalactic, interplanetary criminal organization that deals with everything like drugs and like human trafficking, like anything illegal, they're into it. But they also have like another secret, which I'm not going to reveal, so you'd have to read the book. All right. Yeah, so like those are going to be kind of like the bad guys that we're putting into this game. So let's see, we've got our RDC gunner. So I'm going to switch this graphic to um, yeah. the one with the gun right here. And that is really, really freaking tiny. So, let's see. And we're going to leave the center for him, like, exactly where it is at the moment. And kind of blow him up. He's got a red tint to him, so we're going to get rid of this red tint since we don't need it anymore. All right. There we go. All right. So like now, now we don't have it to where we haven't set it up to where these players will actually look at to where these enemies will actually look at the player, and we haven't really set the player to where she's looking where she's going when the mouse is clicked. So don't worry about that. We'll do that in a little bit. All right. So this is the RDC gunner. He's got a mini map. He's got the gun. He's all good. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and start thinking about turning these guys into prefabs. Before we turn them into prefabs, though, we are going to want to go ahead and include an animator on these. So let's see. I might just name this first one like maybe gunner body. Yeah. My name's Gunner Body, and then now, fortunately, like for this game, I'm making a top-down, so when it comes to the animation, I can kind of cheat a lot. I don't really have to do so much, but I am gonna go ahead and put this one in a different container. So I'm gonna create an empty, and the reason I'm gonna do this is because I'm gonna have the different body parts listed under here. So this will be RDC Gunner. Right, and then I'm just going to take the body and slide it up in here, and then from here I'm going to add go ahead and create an animator for this before I turn it into a prefab. So alright, so I'm going to go to my assets, and I'm going to go to animation, and I'm going to create a new folder. And this will be RDC Gunner 1. Yeah, RDC Gunner 1. Alright, and then I'll go ahead and give him idle animation. Right, and this is just like set up. So, alright, so we got our RDC Gunner animation, and now let's see, we have another enemy that we're going to need to deal with. So the RDC Gunner is going to be a little bit of a he'll be the one that can kind of shoot from a distance. So we'll put like a stopping distance of, what was that? I think I gave him stopping distance of 3 before, so he should be stopping farther away. Yeah. So we're going to leave this guy here, and then we're going to duplicate this one, and this will be our blader. So this will be our melee attack enemy blader. Okay, so we got gunner, we got blader. So I'm gonna turn this one into this one because he's got a little green blade on his body. So I'll change this one to blader body. Gunner, blader. Alright. And let me go ahead and move this guy over a little bit. Here. Alright, cool. So we got our gunner, then we got our blader in here. For the blader, I'm going to need to get rid of the animator controller for this, because right now this animator controller is set to gunner. So I'm going to go ahead and remove component, and let's see, go back in here, create another animation, go to animations and create a new folder, RDC blader 1. Okay, and I'll give him idle animation as well. And I have a t-shirt or something like that with these guys. This is a Shiaki warrior, so like they're kind of connected in certain ways, but I have like a cool little t-shirt with like these guys, with one of these guys getting shocked by a sentry drone. All right, and then so we got our RDC gunner, we got our RDC blader. Now we're going to need to do something with our like flying enemy, right? So we have this guy over here like flying enemy one. Well, flying enemy one just sounds like a kind of a stupid name. So we're going to rename this to let's see, security drone or RDC sentry drone. And this will be, as I mentioned before in a previous video, like I have these guys, like the RDC Gunner and the RDC Blader. Their purpose is basically to harass the player inside of a given environment, right? So they do respond to like barriers and walls and stuff like that, you know, and they'll kind of just follow the player around wherever he goes and like try to kill him or successfully kill her, you know, like they just did. And the reason they're all moving at the same speed right now is because, well, basically, I just copied them. So, copied and pasted them. So, I'll give the gunner a little bit more of a distance away from the player. So the gunner has a script on him, so we'll give him stopping distance of about maybe 4, speed of 1, max health distance. Okay, and then the blader will be faster. So the blader will need to make physical contact with the player. No, speed will be 2, stopping distance will be 1. Score value, hidden kills, data, Alright, and what else do I need? So the blader will not have the ability to shoot the player. So no, cannot shoot the player. Time between shots. Now I can do this one a few different ways, but I'll put this like at something like 10,000 or like 100,000. And also just to be on the safe side, now I might like give the blader the ability to shoot the player sometimes, like after a very, very, very long like period of time, or I could just go ahead and set his projectile to kneel, if I wanted to. So let's try this and see if there's a bit of a switch up. Okay, yeah. So you notice that the gunner is not really moving that much, right? So the gunner is, well, I mean, the gunner is like chasing, but you know, like still kind of trying to keep the distance, right? So cool. All right, and that not turning to face the camera is going to annoy me, so we're gonna have to fix that soon. But right now we're just kind of putting in the tip graphics. All right, so let's see. We got our gunner, we got our blader, and let's go ahead and switch up the. I'll go ahead and take you off. Stalking enemy. Where else? I'm actually starting to get sleepy. Alright, so REC game. We're going to go ahead and turn this one into our drone. Alright, so we're gonna put our drone here. And we're gonna like change the color on this one. And let's see, we'll go ahead and find this guy and then scale him up. Alright, so I think I'm going to scale this one up to right around here. Maybe not as big as the actual gunner and blader. Alright, there we go. Alright, so and for this as well, I'm going to go ahead and override because this is actually a prefab, so apply to all. Okay, and now let's see. So we got our 3 main enemies. Oh, and I'll need to add go ahead and create an animation for this one as well. Oh, sorry guys, I'm getting sleepy now. Alright, so new folder. This will be RDC Sentry Drone 1. I should put like some music on this, but you know, I don't want to get a copyright strike. So alright, so we'll go ahead and do that. And I'll have to override this as well, so that we can add the animator to all of the ones that are in the prefab. Right, and then the other thing that we'll need to do, I do have like a hidden enemy. So I've got a blitz enemy, a sniper enemy. The sniper enemy, I'll go ahead and turn the sniper enemy on over here so we can kind of see him or her. The sniper enemy, I don't think I'm gonna add a map, a mini map icon to them, because I kind of want this one to kind of surprise the player. So with this, we're going to give this particular enemy isn't going to move that much. So in that case, we're just going to give him a turret. So we'll go here and we'll go to the turret. Yeah. So we'll go to the turret and go ahead and turn the color off of this. I mean, like, turn it back to white. And go ahead and scale this up. Right, so that's kind of what our default turret looks like. Right, and yeah, there's not really too much that needs to be done. So this could be a sniper or it could just be a turret. So we're just going to leave this one as a turret for the moment. One turret. One. Right, and I'm going to go ahead and create an empty and like a RDC turret. Alright, and let me go ahead and drop this here. And I still can't spell turret right. Right, there we go. So that's RDC turret. And maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger. Alright, there we go. And I'll go ahead and create an animator on this one as well. Now, realistically, I don't think the turret's going to animate that much. It's probably just going to like do like this. But just to be consistent in case I want to add an animation to it later. So RDC turret 1. Alright, and then what else do we need? I do have a hidden enemy down here that I kind of forgot to show you guys. So we got our turrets, we got our RDC guys, we got our flying enemy that can go over walls and like kind of, it could be a flying enemy or it could be a ghost enemy. And we also have another enemy that is hidden. So I'll need to find him very quickly. So we type in and the way I'm hiding this enemy, I just straight up named him Hidden Guy. Okay, yeah, I'm so lazy. Alright, so we have our hidden guy here. Hidden enemy. Alright, so this could also be like a turret or something like that, but I think for now I'll give him a turret graphic. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna go here and give him the same graphic that we just gave the other one. Alright, there we go. And we're gonna go ahead and switch this over here. Okay, and go back in here. So this guy is hidden. Well, you might be saying like, you know, it says that he's hidden and he's hidden over here and you can't really see him over here as well. So why can't we see him? Well, the reason why we can't see him is because I've hidden him with a sprite mask, right? So if you'll go to mask interaction here, you'll notice that it says visible inside of sprite mask. So if I go here and I turn this off, well, that makes him visible to everyone. So now you can kind of see him like kind of lurking, right? But in this game, since it's kind of like an infiltrator style game, I do want to have like some things that are going to surprise the player, something that can attack the player without when he gets into range without him actually knowing it. So this mask interaction will allow me to do that. But right now you're not really seeing a mask, right? So the reason you're not seeing a mask is because that mask is on my player, and so when I go to the player here, you'll notice that I have a sprite mask attached to him. And when I click on sprite mask, you can actually see the range. So this is the range of visibility that the character will actually be able to view things within the mask in, right? So right now I'm keeping it kind of small. And this is one of the things that I'm using for my CDULO game, because one of my characters, Black Wolf, he can actually enter in a different dimension, and he's the only character that can go into that dimension and fight demons and stuff like that. But these are necessary missions. So and most of that will be handled by simply using a sprite mask. So other characters like the when you're switching between other characters, they won't be able to see the dark dimension. But Black Wolf, when you switch to him, he'll be able to see it and access it. And that's one of the things that I'm kind of looking forward to implementing into my main game. So I'm gonna go back over to this guy, and I'm gonna turn his mask interaction to invisible inside mask again. And I just did that to physical body. Haha. Now I'm gonna do it to this one. So visible inside mask, and then he'll disappear from here. But when I actually play the game, you will see. You won't see anything. You won't see. There he is, and he's going to start shooting at me, right? So, like, yeah, these are kind of like the graphics that we're gonna kind of be playing around with, and you'll notice that my sentry drones came through. So, we've got our different types of enemies now. So we got enemies that can be blocked by barriers and stuff like that. These guys are kind of following me a little bit too close right now. But and then we have these sentry drones who just don't care about the law of the physics at all. And then we have our hidden guy, and we have our drone, and we have our turret, right? So now what we need to do is that we have these temporary graphics in here. There's a few things that we're going to need to fix, and one of them is the fact that this character is not the characters are not really facing each other, and the main player is not facing where I'm pointing at, right? And that is a problem. So one of the first things that we're going to do is, I think probably the easiest way to fix this would be to just add a empty game object. Sorry, my throat is getting dry. So add an empty game object. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to add a empty game object, and this is just going to be like maybe I might just put it as pivot pivot point, and let's see, I'm going to go ahead and give it one of these so that I know where it's located. All right, and then I'm going to zoom into the player a little bit. Right, and I'm going to grab this pivot point, and I'm going to move it to the nose of the player. Yeah, so I'm going to move this to the nose of the player. And let's see, let's go ahead and back up out of here. All right, and I'm going to save that. So, like, how are we going to get this pivot point to kind of follow the cursor? Well, I already have a cursor follow script. So let's see if that'll work. So I'm going to go to my script. So I'm going to go to cursor follow. And I'm just going to grab this cursor follow and see if I can't put it on this, right? And now let's see if that works. Right. So if I click over here, still not rotating. All right, why is that? Pivot point, cursor follow. Okay, let's go into our cursor follow script. Okay, yeah, there's no rotation on it. That's why. All right, so like I'm gonna have to like adjust this script a little bit to where it will allow the character to kind of rotate rotate and follow the cursor. So I'll probably do that later because I'm actually kind of tired tonight. But I did want to get up and get into some of the artwork that we're going to be doing with this and start replacing like some of the graphics. Just to show you like what else I've kind of got in store. So we're going to be using yeah, we're going to be like just kind of switching out the graphics with this. Yeah, so this will be like a little bit, we're going to go ahead and deck this out. So we're going to be using this as the main first game level. We're going to, create the title screen using this. Actually, I think we could go ahead and create the title screen now at least before I get too tired. So we got this. Let me zoom out here a little bit. So I'm going to take all of these elements and I'm just going to kind of I'm going to highlight everything, hit V, and then just kind of move them off the screen at the moment, so because I don't need them right now. All right, and then I'm going to go back to my library, and did I already bring in this other graphic? Okay, I haven't brought in the other image yet, so I'm going to go ahead and go here and bring in this image. Just kind of drag and drop it in here. Alright, and what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to click on it and I'm going to hit Command B to break it apart. And I just want the girl and I want the fox. So I can grab my lasso tool and I'll lasso out the girl. This girl's name is Nikki, by the way. So her full name is Nicole Imamura. So she is one of the last remaining native Japanese people in the world. Because according to my storyline, in the year like 2911 or 2917, I can't remember. Like during one of there's a massive attack on Earth, and like that really like did basically the Earth got a hole blown through it, and Japan was sunk due to a tsunami. So there are basically no more Japanese people alive, except for ones that were living outside of the country. But like Japan was sunk. So with her, like she's one of the last remaining pure-blooded Japanese. And so, like, her storyline is actually pretty cool, too. So, Nikki one. But she's not going to be a playable character in this game. So, yeah. So, because the game doesn't focus on her, this game focuses on Kuramiya, who is her familiar. So, Nikki is a summoner. That is her main power. So she's a summoner that comes from a very, very ancient group of priestesses. And so you have to kind of read my book and start reading my comics and my books to kind of find out where that storyline is going, though. So Kuramiya temp. And this will be for menu. Alright, so yeah, those are mainly the two menu items that we're going to need. So I'll go ahead and drop those in the Unity as well. Oh, yeah, like I can't drop them in the Unity until I export them out though. Nikki 1, menu temp. And so when you're first like prototyping your game, it's like a good idea to just do like little simple graphic stuff like this, um, because you know, like I said, you know, it'll save you a lot of time, and it also helps you like kind of lay out the game and like figure out the spacing of stuff. So we just kind of like done those two. I'm gonna go ahead and save this scene and um, jump over to my scenes folder. And right now we've only got like a main menu, and we've got a few other like kind of basic scenes that we've set up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump up over here, and I'm gonna go to the canvas. And if you'll notice, I've already kind of got some images in here, but we don't really want those. That just looks too boring and basic, right? So I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna change this to Nikki, and I'm going to make sure I import those first. Yeah, I'm starting to run out of gas here. So Nikki menu and Kuramiya menu. Alright, so now let's go back over here. Go to Nikki. I'm gonna put this here. And you notice that she came out well looking a little bit bloated, right? So we're gonna go to set native size. And now she's freaking huge. Alright, and she's blue. So to fix that, it's pretty easy. I'm just gonna go ahead and scale her down here. Not that damn much. So I'll go ahead and scale her down till about maybe, I don't know. Yeah, just here right now. And this is blue because, well, for like reasons. So so I'll go ahead and switch this over to white. All right, there we go. And for this menu, I think I'm probably gonna want to have her center for some reason. So maybe 0. And then we're going to kind of do the same thing with Kuramiya. So we'll just duplicate Nikki and put Kuramiya here and swap the graphic. No, I spelled it wrong. It should be Kuramiya, but I put Kiramiya. Okay, yeah, we'll put her here. And set native size again. And then like yeah, let's scale this down a little bit. Or drag that down a little bit. So for this menu, I'm still kind of considering what layout I want it to have. I think actually I'm going to maybe, well, Kuramiya is going to be the main for this anyway, so Yeah, so I'll just put this here for now. And then for the actual buttons, we're probably going to switch those. I'll put the play button probably below Kamiya. Yeah, and probably to the center. Okay, or maybe not. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could center it over here. That would actually make more sense. Yeah, so I'll center it there. And then like for the other ones, I think I will put maybe story and then credits over here. So story, um, story will be here. And then credits, we're gonna go ahead and parent this one, like set this over to this side over here. Hold on. Okay, yeah, we'll put credits over here. So kind of like a little triangle format, I think, for these buttons. Yay, and there's our menu. Not really, but you know, that's kind of how we're going to start our menu, right? So, and you know, don't worry, like basically, I'll go ahead and fade out Kuramiya a little bit so you can see Nikki a little bit better in the background. Yeah, so it's gonna kind of look something like this. Right. And, you know, we haven't really committed too much time or anything to the graphics. You know, we can kind of get an idea of the layout. For example, I think I might want Kuramiya up a little bit more. A little bit more here. For Nikki in the background, she might be a little bit too big, actually. So I might shrink her down and move her up so that we can get a better shot of her. Yeah. So this is kind of like a general idea of what the main menu would probably look like. Except for, you know, I wouldn't have the credits kind of hanging off the screen over there. Yeah, so maybe something like this will work. Alright, so anyway, like I'm kind of sleepy now. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off of this one and get ready to go to bed. Probably wake up now that I've got my recording space back during the day because the kids aren't going to be here. I'll probably start trying to record more during the day. That was one of my New Year's resolutions, was to stop working so much at night. Anyway, so like I do want to try to get like some good standard, and I'm supposed to be sleeping more. So you know, because normally I only sleep like 4 or 5 hours, you know, a night. Even though I might take a nap during the daytime, but you know, my New Year's resolution was take better care of my health and like you know, start getting more sleep, you know, and start trying to standardize my working schedule. So you know, just to try to keep up with that and make sure that I haven't totally messed up my New Year's resolution at the very beginning of the year. It hasn't. It's just been a month. You know, or barely even a month, right? So, like, I'll go ahead and jump off with this one and go to bed. But now you have an idea of kind of what the game is going to look like and what the character is going to look like. So let's go ahead and do one last play from this menu, actually. So, got this. So we can, like, click play. And then we can go to our... actually, we're not going to go to that level. I already cleared that level. Let's go... I have to change the button on this one. So, level 1. Okay, yeah, that button is still set for the sample scene, right? So I'll go ahead and copy that, and I'll go to play. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and paste this up in here, level 1A. And I'll need to do that for the other scenes as well. So since I'm here, I've got a credit scene, then I've got a story scene. So there's my credit scene. I should just go ahead and put a smiley face on this guy. Alright, so here's my credit scene. Play. Just go down to the button and switch this over. Boom. Level 1A. Alright, save that. And let me go to my story scene. Oh, sorry, my credit scene. Also, and click on the play button here. And I will go to level 1A. Alright, cool. Yay. Okay, so if I click play, then it'll take me, should take me to the correct scene, but actually I haven't put this in my build settings yet. Right, so, and also I'll do that for the sample scene as well, just because I should do that for the sample scene. Okay, so let's go to the build settings very quickly. So build settings, and the reason why you know, those two menus didn't jump to my level 1A, because unless it's in the build, if it's not in the build settings, basically it doesn't exist to Unity. So I just have to drag this up in here. All right. So now when I when I go back to my menu, I hit play. I hit play, it'll take me here, and now we have like our Kuramiya, like being chased around the screen but not looking where she's going. So we'll fix that one in the next video. But she is being pursued by enemies, and she does like have things that are trying to kill her. And I think I did still kind of leave her bomb around here somewhere. So I'm gonna have to change the, yeah, she's still got her bomb here, so I can like hit B and blast these guys. And she does have her other weapon, which is this one. Oh, that's the one I haven't really demoed yet, so. Let's see. She's got a couple weapons that she's able to pick up here. So, you got our bomb, so I can press B, and then like, press B and then try to get out of here. Huh. Something happened there. That's weird. Okay, got my bomb, so if I press B and run away, boom, I can get rid of those guys. And now I have this other weapon, which is like kind of like her turret weapon. Oh, I just killed myself though, because this room is too small for me to really navigate. Okay, so now she's angry. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Alright. Boom, boom. These guys, this guy's still sticking way too close to me. So what I'm going to do with the melee enemy actually is I'm probably going to have it to where, here we go. Yeah, because he's getting a bit too close. So I'm probably going to have it to where once he gets within a certain range, he actually does a melee attack. Alright. And then one more last playthrough. Hold on. After I fix that problem. Yeah, I'm out of it now, guys. I'm kind of sleepy, so. Alright, so let's see. What am I going to do? My RDC Blader. So my RDC Blader is getting a little bit too close to attack. So when he gets in too close, like she can't really move. So I'm going to put him at 2. And for my RDC Gunner, RDC Gunner's stopping distance will be about maybe, I think I'll give him 5. Come on. See if that works. Okay. Yeah, so I'll give like the Blader the ability to attack, get into range, and then like launch a melee attack. And probably lower his speed down a little bit too. But for now, he can like get shot with a cannon and die. Now, the reason why this cannon is so big is because I scaled her. But if you'll notice, like remember, I have a timer here, so I can't keep this weapon forever. So you have to be, in this game, you have to be pretty smart about when you're going to actually use your weapons. Alright, boom. So I got these guys here, boom, and I just blew them all to hell. Yeah, boom. Alright, cool, cool, cool. Alright, yeah. So that's kind of what we've got at the moment, and then like we just kind of gotta work on getting things to face each other, which will come in the next video. Alright, so that's going to be it for me tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something, and thank you for those who like tuned in. I'm still kind of working on how to actually do these videos and make them like better and stuff like that. Right now I know I'm just kind of rambling and like kind of getting a feel for it, but don't worry too much. Wow, these things are huge. On my mini maps, I had to change that. These icons are huge. All right, so like, don't worry about that. Like, I'll get it all sorted and be able to present better content. Right now I'm just kind of doing this for fun and getting my groove. Trying to get into it. Once I can do this regularly, without any interruptions or anything, I think it'll be much better. So. Alright, so have a good night. Stop by my online store, help support my game development. Stop by my Patreon page where I will be posting better tutorials when I'm pretty good at video tutorials. I'm kind of bad at at live streaming tutorials because I don't really rehearse or know what I'm gonna say. So so like forgive me for that, but like check if you want like more in-depth video tutorials, stop by my Patreon page where I actually had time to like think about what I was gonna say before I made them. All right, so everybody have a good night or good morning wherever you are in the morning. I'm not even gonna finish drinking this coffee because it's my bedtime. I don't even know why I'm drinking like coffee at 11 something at night. But anyways, catch you all later, and I will probably be back on tutorial Tuesdays. Tutorial Tuesdays and like tutorial Thursdays are kind of what I'm going for schedule wise, but like everything's still kind of up in the air right now. So I will catch you next time with tutorials on one of those days, and I'll probably be on later on this week for actually playing League of Legends or Overwatch, just for fun. Alright, so have a good night, peace out, stay safe, and I will see you again soon.